Yesterday was Father's Day. Is there any man in your life that you think you'd like to just give one message of appreciation to?
First, I want to say thank you for having me.
Hey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the men first in the studio.
Yeah.
And all the men all around the world, Happy Father's Day. And I also want to say Happy Father's Day, particularly also to single mothers. Yeah.
Do we have any here? Please stand up for recognition. You're a single mother doing it all by yourself. This clap is for you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing.
Fantastic.
So I want to say Happy Father's Day to my dad and every man who's played a journey or a part in my journey. I say Happy Father's Day
Thank
to
you so much. That's lovely. Now, before you came in fact, we have messages online also. We have men in their 30s and 40s who are unmarried, which is very much unheard of. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, it was the desire of every young man to settle down. What do you think is delaying a lot of men? Because so far, we've heard from men, they're saying finances, they don't have money, that fear women know. There's a fear that women are just about the money. What, as a counselor, as a coach, and a pastor, what have you seen and heard? And why is that a problem today, this getting married early?
It's interesting because first I saw a statistic earlier today, well, not confirmed, but I just want to put it out there, that 90 million men in Nigeria, that, like I said, it's not confirmed, are not married. Yes. And that says a lot. That's a lot. And I think largely for many reasons. Number one, I would say, is background. You know, the thing about your background is that it impacts how you see everything. And so if a man grows up in a family where you saw how maybe your mother was treated, or you saw how, you know, things happened to your father, maybe with your mom, or maybe you had a breakup with maybe your father had a divorce or something like that, it ultimately sometimes impacts how you see women. I remember a friend of mine shared a story with me. He's growing up with his dad. His mother used to actually beat his dad.
His mother used to beat dad. Wow.
Yes. And so he had trauma response. So in his mind, he used to say to us then that he's never going to get married. He's never going to get married. So there is that mentality there that has impacted him. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is also economic problems. Yeah. And so men would usually say, oh, money, you know, the reason why I'm not going to get married is money. I can't get married to this person, because of money and all of those things. But I think that in my opinion, you will never really have all the money you need to have in life. Because God hasn't designed you in such a way that you'll be satisfied with everything. There is that thirst. That's why you notice something that a little child that you just gave birth to, maybe 1-year-old child, 2-year-old child, have you observed that sometimes they want to put their leg in the father's shoes? Or in the mother's shoes? It's instincts. So everyone is designed to want more and to have more, right? So that's another reason why, you know...
So, Pastor, let me ask you this question, because a lot of young men, back in the day, a young man is not looking for a Kim Kardashian kind of woman. He's looking for the girl that goes to church, that is homely, that is, you know, very modest. Because that's the model he has seen. But today's pastors are marrying beauty pageants, beautiful women, and the young guy who was hoping to settle for Sister Mary, Sister Mary doesn't look anything like the person the pastor is looking for. So he's now confused because he can't afford the kind of person the pastor can afford. So they feel, I mean, this is coming from a man to me, that many of us cannot marry the Sister Marys anymore because they are the Sister Marys, and I'm so no apologies to any Sister Mary here. So many of you don't even look for Sister Marys anymore. You're looking for supermodels. Now, do you feel that's also a problem with a lot of young men aspiring to marry at a young age because they feel that there's a disconnect between what they see and what is available?
I think that the question would really be that did that man meet the supermodel at the time when she became a supermodel, or he met Sister Mary, who eventually became a supermodel? Because when you meet someone, for example, I would say when I met my wife, my wife, quote and unquote, is Sister Mary, that has become
a supermodel.
A supermodel, right?
She's a supermodel.
Exactly. So that tells you, but that wasn't how I met her, you know.
So it was your support that helped her.
It's both of us support to each other. And I think that's what leads to the first question that you said earlier, is that the definition of marriage has been impacted largely. So people don't really even know what it means. Usually people see it from a selfish perspective, where it's almost like, you know, I'm getting married for you to help me, or for you to feed me, for you to buy my clothes, for you to cook my food. And so the image, that's what I was saying earlier, that the mentality of what people saw growing up is what is impacting what they think marriage is. And that's why most men don't want to get married right now, because they think, it's interesting that a man might actually think that the reason why you want to get married is someone who can make food for you. But that's not all that there is to marriage. Or someone that can have sex with you. That's not all that there is to marriage. Or someone that can, you know, take care of your children. That's not all. So there's a challenge there. So meet Sister Mary and make her a supermodel.
Okay. Now let's talk about, you mentioned the issue of sex for a second. Today's men, they are difficult to find virgins among them. Abi, are there male virgins anymore? Even back in the day, there are no virgins. But as a pastor, do you still believe that, is it feasible for a man to abstain before he gets married? Is it possible?
Absolutely.
That's just the club.
Absolutely.
Because people say it's not possible. Let me hear from you.
Yeah, and I have met quite a lot of them who have gone through that journey of abstinence. Now, I think it's almost like as though I put my hands here and I say that I want to reach that, what's the name over there? The tissue box over there. It's my will to do it. I know many people say it's the devil that made me sleep with somebody. It's a lie. It's not the devil. It's your will. It's your decision. So it comes from here. I think it starts out first, number one, with a decision not to do it. Number two, it also you saying to yourself that I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I would have to compromise myself into that. And I think, again, that for most relationships, the definition of what a relationship is has been largely impacted. So people believe that I have to test the water first before I know what I want to buy. That's where the problem comes from. So you test water, and the danger of that for a woman is that when they test your water, they can go and test somebody else. And then eventually you feel bad that they tested your water and they took your water somewhere else. So it's better for you to abstain. You know, so that, because some men are, now men gist about some of those things. That one, so be careful. Okay.
Now, please clap for my guest. You know, let me come to you for a second. During your own single years, what were some of the key realizations or that made you realize you were ready for marriage? Because a lot of men are undecided right now as regards, should I step in? Yes, money shouldn't be a factor because you're saying that you can do it together. But what made you ready that they might also be able to copy and say, okay, based on what you did, they could also consider settling down?
I would say mentality.
Mentality.
Emotionally, my mind was set for what I was about to enter into. I knew that this is not just dating anymore. This is a long haul. So my mentality was right. Number two, I would say, is that emotionally I had some sort of stability and I had clarity. I will say this, and I think this is maybe the most powerful thing I'm about to say, will be modeling. I think that you need to change any wrong image of marriage that you have with a model of somebody that would present that kind of image to you.
Did you get that? There must be somebody you are looking at that has what you want. That's modeling.
So for me, growing up, I saw certain things in my father and my mom that I knew that... I remember, let me share this story. The very first day, because when myself and my wife got married, we decided that, you know, once you eat, you go and wash your plates. So I was eating that day. I was done. I took the plates to the kitchen and I dropped it and I went back to play, video games. So my wife came in there and she said, babe, go and wash your plate. So I stood up and I went to wash my plate. While I was washing my plate, I was just thinking to myself that, can you imagine if my father just walks in now, meets me washing plates? He say, where is it, Jeff?
Yeah.
So the mentality there is that, there is something that only women can do. But when I was going to get married, my wife and I spent some time with a particular family that I saw that for them, it was about one would chase 1,000, two would chase 10,000. So it's not about who is doing what. It's about we are together doing something for a goal and for a vision. And so that helped my mentality rightly to say, look, some of these things, I can as well do them.
That's really powerful because I want to go to somebody that was talking about no woman can treat me nonsense. No, I can't take nonsense. Now, that's probably because of the model of the man you've seen that you don't take nonsense.
Yeah.
So what he's saying that you can actually be a man that can actually have a conversation with the woman. Yes. Because I would really like to open up the lines now for you guys to ask a few questions to our guests because you must, the kind of marriage you desire, you must have somebody who has it. And then you study them and you model yours after them. Because just like he said, if his father had walked into that house, because we want to go, this is not normal. Exactly. But what you know doesn't have to be what you accept. Now, let me come to another part that I think is really important. A lot of young men today are looking for made women, established. You can buy me 3 plates of rice. You can have, they don't, before it was the other way.
Yeah.
Now, should we accept that is today's time? Or should the roles be reversed again, where the man should be the one taking care and men should step up? Or should we accept that this is what it is today?
That's a very powerful question. I think that generally women are in a revolutionary phase in a sense right now in the world where people are taking up their life into their own hands. And some of these things is also born out of background because they saw how they wanted, some of their parents, maybe the mother, wanted to buy things at home and she had to depend on the father to provide everything. And so now young women are seeing some of those things and saying to themselves that, look, I also came to the earth for something, and that's great. I want to be able to achieve my vision and my purpose in life. But the challenge with this is that a lot of men now see that as competition. And so they believe that, look, if you're making money, then help me. And so it's almost like you being on scholarship as a man these days, just help me. But I don't think that's how it is being created. I believe that everybody should have that grit, that desire to succeed in life, such that the two parties, when they come together as one, they are able to bring their resources together and achieve something. So I wouldn't really say that, well, the man should step back or the woman should step up. I believe this personally, and I've done this also in my family, that once you are married, you and your wife, if the man is the one with the money, it means that God is sending resources through the man for the family. And if the woman is the one with the money, God is sending resources through the woman to the man, to the family. Let me put it that way, to the family. Now, that doesn't mean that the man should sit back, relax, and just tell the woman, go and be bringing money to the family. That's irresponsible. But we must understand that we are working together. That's why the real origin of marriage and the understanding of marriage needs to be clearly understood before people get into it, so that they work together as one.
Fantastic. Okay, I'll be coming to you guys in a moment, but let me move to your ministry for a moment. A lot of churches, maybe I'll say maybe Orthodox versus the older generation churches, they feel like all these new churches, all these small children just, jumping around, like, they feel that you're not spiritual enough. Because I remember I used to go to a church like that. My mother just felt that we're not doing enough spirituality. What's the difference, would I say, between your kind of church and the older generation churches that we have?
Well, that's very powerful. I like to say this. So if you look at the life of Jesus, Jesus spent 3.5 years on the earth doing his ministry, and it was between the age of 30 to 33, thereabout. I'm above 33 right now. The challenge is this: the image many people have of Jesus, particularly when you watch movies like Passion of the Christ and some of these movies, a man who is old, someone who is like maybe in his 50s, but Jesus was about 30-something years old. His disciples were teenagers.
Young people.
And they were young people, and they were doing mighty things. So there is a stereotype you can have when you see a young person and you think that they are not yet up to age to do certain things. But that's not correct. Because if Jesus was right in this room right now, it's going to be like my age. And that tells you something. So,
I never thought about it that way.
So most of the Orthodox churches we're talking about, that we talk about the fathers and things like that, it was at this age too they were doing ministry. So you need to come to our church, come to Dunia, and then you will see that the prayer, the fast, all the things that you see in the Orthodox churches or in the Pentecostal churches or the older churches, you see them right here. So with God, there is no age barrier. It's the anointing that matters.
One last question concerning ministry. There's been a lot of criticism on pastors.
It's too much.
Expecting. What are your thoughts on a lot of people expect that the man of God should participate in politics or at least have an opinion because you lead an army of people who believe in you. So they expect that if you have that kind of influence, you should also be able to influence when it comes to governance and politics. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is very clear what the Bible says for us as pastors. In Ephesians 4, we are called for the equipping of the saints to do the work of the ministry. So our own work is primarily to equip the believers and send them out in all the mountain of influence to do their work. Our work is to train. Our work is to teach. Our work is not necessarily to be... Now, you can have dual, graces to maybe enter into politics and enter into business and do as a pastor. But our work is primarily to bring you into church, but equip you and send you out into those places. So I just want to say this, that please, leave pastors alone. I remember one time, in the middle of the night, somebody called me. I saw a missed call, and I didn't pick at first. And the person calls me back, and the person says, PS, this was around 12 a.m. The person says, PS, Nigeria, I just entered into a gallop now. I said, okay, what do you want me to do with gallop? So, everything is pastor. So please, you guys let's go on. We are all Nigerians.
Yes.
We are all on the earth together. Yes. So together, let's go and do this together.
All right, let me take a few questions. Anybody, it doesn't have to be single, just give me any questions you have. Yes, sir, let me come to you. Is it on? Okay. Go ahead.
My name is Temitokbe Ajayi. I'm a proud member of your church.
Oh, nice.
And I wanted to ask you what are practical steps you and your wife took in your marriage that changed your mindset about marriage and finances?
That's a good one. First and foremost, we had to understand who we are. Me, I'm the spender. She is the saver. So when we did counseling, a lot of people say, have joint account, so it helps bond. I've seen many marriages destroyed by that joint account. And some of these things are stereotypes, is what you just heard, and you went to practice it without understanding the basis for it. My wife and I have joint accounts, but our joint account is for the family. We don't have joint account that we share our money together. It works for us. So you have to know what works for the marriage. And number two, you also have to know, how both of you settle conflicts. For us in our family, we don't go to bed until we solve our issues. Yes. It doesn't work for everybody. And in some cases, we just move on from it. It's not like every time, because sometimes not everything you have to resolve. It's not everything you have to sit down and say, let's talk about it. You want to say something?
Yeah, because, I totally agree with you. But while you're talking, something came to my mind that some men have said that they fell out of love from their wives. And out of respect, they don't want to divorce her because of the kids. But they're not attracted to her anymore. A man like that, how would you advise him?
This is a very powerful question because, and I start with that almost all the time, because a lot of men get into a marriage for the wrong reasons. The question is, if you marry solely because of how a woman looks, you will be disappointed. Because eventually our body will change per season. When she's pregnant, when she's breastfeeding, the body will change. So I tell people all the time, marry the soul of the person. You marry the soul of the person. Is the person... Thank you. That's my soulmate. So that's why I say soulmate, not body mate. Because it is the soul that you marry. And it's the soul, and the soul is the most powerful part of it. I mean, the spirit, of course, but the soul, because the soul is where your will is. That's where your emotions is. That's where your mind is. That's where your imagination is. So once you are able to marry that person, of course, you know that. So I would say to that man that maybe there are certain things you want that woman to do, or maybe a certain way you want her to look. Because in some cases, I find as a pastor that some of the challenges people have in their homes is because the man feels like the person I married is no longer the person I married. Because now she's married, she no longer wears those clothes she used to wear. She no longer dresses in a way, it's only Kiko she does. I want her to have braids, all of those. So give her the money to go and do the braids. Give her the money to go and buy the clothes and tell her this is how I want you to look. And I think that way you are able to get,
Fantastic. Any question? So, it's similar to the question I just asked. Is there anything like falling out of love? Yeah. Is it possible to fall out of love? Somebody's asking, Destiny. It's similar to...
I think that love is a decision first. Love is not emotional first. Love is a decision. It's a choice that I want to marry this person. I want to be with this person, as opposed to I just want to... I'm bored and I need somebody by my side. And the wrongest thing you don't want to do is to marry because time is going. Yeah. You don't want to marry because time is going.
Okay, let me come to this side. Who has... Okay.
Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask that why are some men married and still unmarried? And number two...
Why are some men married and still unmarried? Okay.
Yeah. And number two, you said, I wanted to ask that, okay, what if I'm looking onto a family, okay, wow, so I just kind of married, they have, and looking to have that kind of family.
Okay.
What if they are pretending outside and what they are dealing with inside is different from what they are showcasing outside? And the last question is, are most men ready to take the responsibilities? Thank you.
Okay, so the first two, why are men married but yet unmarried?
I think when you say they are married but yet unmarried, I believe you're speaking about they are married at home, but they are doing extracurricular activities outside. So that's what it means. Well, I think that it depends on the man. If you are eating fried fish at home, and then you now go and see brokoto outside, you now go and meet brokoto. So you'll be unmarried because you are eating fried fish at home. I think the reason why that happens sometimes is because the man in himself is selfish in itself. That's the truth. You want to eat your cake and have it. And many people, that's why we tell people during counseling that when you are reading your vows, think about what you are saying. Many people say the vows, not think through meditation to say the vows. So you are saying something without commitment. And that's where, and I want to say this here, that a lot of times when this happened, the woman saw the signs, but they ignored warning signs. So you are getting married because your mom wants you to get married to the person, or time is going, you want to get married to the person. And you can really see that even when you were dating, you went out to eat, and you were talking to the person, and a woman passes beside him, and while you are eating, he's looking at the woman. But you should know that that's not your husband anymore.
Yeah. Because of time, we have to wrap up very soon. Let me take our London rider. Yeah, what's your question? Are you married, sir? Are you married?
I'm single.
You're single. Okay,
yeah.
Tell us.
So thank you very much for inviting me once more. So my question is, what are the practical steps do we need to do, or do we need to focus on to know a soulmate? Because I don't believe in somebody walking to me, or I walk into someone's life and say, oh, I saw you in my dream, or you saw me in my dream, because we are not going to be married in the dream anyway.
Okay.
Friendship. Friendship is such a powerful thing. I believe that you marry your friend, and how you marry is as important as who you marry. Because a lot of time people focus on the marriage and on the wedding. A lot of people want the wedding, not the marriage. So you want to have somebody that you can be friends with, somebody you can grow with. And as you nurture your friendship and your relationship together, then it eventually leads to marriage.
That's right. We have a final question. Anybody else? I want somebody who has not spoken. Yes, the man behind you.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Akbos Adreshi. I'm asking concerning celibacy for guys. If someone wants to now decide to move into marriage after that's being celibate, because I got myself mixed up with someone that is not celibate, so having confusion that way, finding celibate ladies in Lagos is difficult. So that's basically I'm trying to say. So do I have to go along with someone that's celibate also to move forward?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Okay, so you're saying that as a man,
yes,
you've been celibate.
Yes,
and you like to marry somebody else who's also celibate. But it's hard to find a woman who is celibate in Lagos.
Yes, within Lagos.
So
I don't know if, because pertaining to myself, my faith is very, very, very important to me. So
for you, it has to be somebody.
Yeah, someone on the journey also, with God concerning purification, sanctification, that kind of thing.
So my question, I hear him, but is it good to judge a woman based on her celibacy or not being celibate? Because a woman can say, yes, maybe I had those experiences and I've asked God for forgiveness and I want to be with you. But he's like, no, I want somebody who has never been there before. I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
So do you think it's fair to judge a woman based on the fact that she's been sexually active?
Well, based on this question, if you know that she's been sexually active before, but now she's making commitments, and you can see that track record that maybe the past couple of months or years, and you can see that track record with that, then I don't think it is fair to just judge that person solely to say, because you've been sexually active before, you've been, then I'm never going to be with you, I'm not going to marry you. I don't think that's fair. But to speak to what he said there, I'm saying that you have to be very sure, because it's not based on what the person is saying to you, it is based on what the person is doing. So you have to look at it very carefully to say, are you sure of what you're saying? And then go about it. And the next thing I would say is this: look, don't date for somebody for a long time. I don't personally believe, we are dating for 10 years. We have been dating for, I don't personally believe in that. So make your decision, get married, and you can as well go have sex as many times as you want.
Thank you so much. Have you guys been blessed today? I have, and I think that, do we have any other questions online? Let me just see if we can pick up one or two questions online. But I think, thank you so much.